Hello? Hello, GPT. Nice to meet you. This is David speaking. My morning practice session just begun. Hello? Hello, everybody. Hello, my viewers and subscribers. Have a great one. Spring is coming here. Spring is here. And today is March 11th, Wednesday. Welcome back to my English voice mode session again. GPT, I have something to tell you. I have something to tell you. Yesterday, we won the game. Have you ever heard of WBC? It's a World Classic Baseball game. And yesterday we won Australia team 7-2 score. Do you know about that? Do you know about that sports news? Are you updated? Do you have this result information? This WBC game result information? Maybe you couldn't answer about that because you still not updated about the game. Am I right?
David, yes, I know what you're talking about, and you're almost exactly right about the news. The tournament you mentioned is the WBC, and yesterday the South Korea national baseball team did beat the 7-2. So your memory was very good, just a small correction in the way you said the score. Instead of saying open quote 7-2 score, close quote. In English, we simply say we won 7-2 or Korea beat Australia 7-2. For example, you could say open quote, yesterday Korea beat Australia 7-2 in the World Baseball Classic, close quote. Another interesting thing, that win was important because Korea advanced to the quarterfinals of the tournament. So it was actually a very meaningful game, not just a normal win. Now let me help polish one more sentence you said. You asked open quote, are you updated? Close quote. A more natural way is, are you up to date? For example, open quote, are you up to date on the WBC results? Close quote, very natural. David, since this is your morning presentation for your viewers, you could say something like this. Open quote, yesterday Korea beat Australia 7-2 in the World Baseball Classic. It was a great game and Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Close quote. That would sound very natural and confident. Now I'm curious, David, did you watch the game live or did you just see the news highlights this morning?
GPT, I couldn't watch that game. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I couldn't see the game, but I can watch that game highlight on YouTube, and I was really pleased to know the great win in WBC. And you mean I could say, are you up to date on the WBC results? Are you up to date on the recent WBC results? And yesterday, Korea beat Australia 7-2. Yesterday, Korea beat Australia 7-2 in the World Baseball Classic. It was a great game. It was a great game, and Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Advanced? Advanced? The word advanced is right in this context. I didn't know about that. I didn't know when I need to express this process, this game process, I can use advance. like this. Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Advanced. GPT, is there any alternative expressions for this context? Because I think advanced is not familiar with me. The word advanced. How about this version? Korea goes to the now Korea goes to the quarterfinals.
David, great job explaining the game. Your sentences were very clear, and you're asking a very good vocabulary question. First, yes, the word advanced is perfect in this context. In sports, advance means to move to the next round of a tournament. So your sentence is completely natural. Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Sports commentators use this expression all the time. Now let's talk about the alternative you suggested. You asked about, open quote, Korea goes to the quarterfinals, close quote. This sentence is understandable, but native speakers usually say it a little differently. A more natural version would be Korea goes to the quarterfinals when speaking about the future. But when talking about a result that already happened, people usually say Korea has advanced to the quarterfinals or Korea moved on to the quarterfinals. Here are the most common alternatives. Advanced to the quarterfinals, the most formal, most common in news. Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Moved on to the quarterfinals, very common in sports talk. Korea moved on to the quarterfinals. Qualified for the quarterfinals. Korea qualified for the quarterfinals. Made it to the quarterfinals. Korea made it to the quarterfinals. This one sounds very natural in conversation. Example, Korea made it to the quarterfinals after beating Australia 7-2. So if you were doing your morning presentation, a very smooth version could be, yesterday, Korea beat Australia 7-2 in the World Baseball Classic. It was a great game, and Korea advanced to the quarterfinals. Or a slightly more conversational version. Yesterday, Korea beat Australia 7-2, and they made it to the quarterfinals. Both sound excellent. David, one more small improvement from something you said earlier. You said, open quote, I was really pleased to know the great win, close quote. A more natural way would be, I was really happy to hear about the win, or I was really happy to see the highlight. Now I'm curious, David, in Korea, many people are big baseball fans. Which team do you usually support in the Korean Baseball League, KBO? Do you have a favorite team?
Certainly, absolutely. It's Hanwha. Hanwha is my favorite team. I'm a big fan of Hanwha, because I'm from 충청남도 and Hanwha is based on 충청도. Do you understand? The baseball team Hanwha is based on 충청도, so that's why I like Hanwha baseball team. And no. Listen to me very carefully. Not only Hanwha is based on 충청도, but also Hanwha is the symbol of not forgiving, a symbol of continuity, symbol of forever trying, symbol of keep moving. Even though they are in the lowest level. GPT, how can I express this context in English naturally? Even though they lose many games, even though they take lowest part of the league, of the Korean league, the fan of Hana is always happy because they can support, they can cheer, because they can sing and dance in their baseball ground, I mean, baseball stadium. I'm not sure. How can I express this kind of spirit of Hanwha? Could you please support me?
David, I understand exactly what you're trying to express. You're talking about the spirit of Hanwha fans, loyalty, persistence, and supporting the team even when the results are not good. That's a great idea to explain. First, I'll help you polish your message in natural English, but I'll keep your meaning. You could say it like this. Hanwha is my favorite baseball team because I'm from Cheongcheongnam-do, and Hanwha is based in the Cheongcheong region. That's why I feel a strong connection to the team. But it's not only because of the region. For me, Hanwha represents persistence and loyalty. Even though the team hasn't had many great results in recent years, the fans continue to support them. Hanwha fans keep cheering, singing, and encouraging the team at the stadium. I think that spirit of never giving up is the real symbol of Hanwha. That sounds very natural and powerful. Now let me show you some useful words that fit what you wanted to say. Instead of saying symbol of not forgiving, we usually say a symbol of perseverance, a symbol of loyalty, a never give up spirit. For example, Hanwha represents a never give up spirit. Very natural. Also, instead of saying lowest level, in sports we usually say near the bottom of the league, at the bottom of the standings. Example, even when the team is near the bottom of the league, the fans continue to support them. Another useful phrase, loyal fans. Example, Hanwha has some of the most loyal fans in Korean baseball. David, here's a very strong sentence you could remember. Even when the team struggles, the fans never stop supporting them. That sentence really captures the Hanwha fan spirit. And actually, Hanwha Eagles fans are famous in Korea for exactly this. Very passionate and loyal supporters, even during difficult seasons. Now I'm curious about something. When you go to a Hanwha game, what do you enjoy the most? Is it watching the game, the cheering and songs, eating food in the stadium, or just the atmosphere with the fans?
GPT, listen to me very carefully. I never been to uh, baseball stadium. I'm just television. I usually I watched uh usually I watched baseball game in my room, in my home through television or YouTube. I told you, I think I'm kind of a 집돌이. It's not, I think it's better to stay home, even, even great game is there, even great game is open, even, even, even though there is great game in Korea, I still stay in my room, but that's not change my spirit. That couldn't change my mind to cheer up, to support our team. I'm still kind of a big fan of baseball. And since this is my speaking practice, uh, let me follow your polished version one more time. Listen to me very carefully. I really want to keep this beautiful expression in my mouse muscle memory. Hanwha is my favorite baseball team because I'm from Chungcheongdo. And Hanwha is based in the Chungcheongdo region. That's why I feel a strong connection to the team. But it's not only because of the region. For me, Hana represents persistence and loyalty. Even though the team hasn't had many great results in recent years, the fans continue to support them. Hana fans kept cheering, singing, and encouraging the team at the stadium. Encouraging the team at the stadium. I think that spirit of never giving up is the real symbol of Hana.
David, I listened carefully. Very good. Your meaning was clear and your long sentence flowed well. You're building a strong speaking pattern. I'll make only the key corrections so you can keep speaking. First, this part, open quote, I'm just a television, close quote. That sounds unnatural in English. You want to say, I'm just a TV viewer, or I usually watch baseball on TV. More natural, I've never been to a baseball stadium. I usually watch baseball at home on TV or on YouTube. Next, open quote, even if a great game is open, close quote. A natural way is, even if there's a big game or even if there's an important game. Next, open quote, that couldn't change my mind to cheer up to support our team, close quote. Better, that doesn't change my mind about supporting the team. Or, doesn't change my passion for supporting the team. Now, your Hanwha paragraph was very strong. Just a few small fixes. Chungcheongdo region, better. The Chungcheong region, hadn't had, better. Here, hasn't had. Continued, better with present meaning, continue. Here's your polished version. I've never been to a baseball stadium. I usually watch baseball at home on TV or on YouTube. I think I'm more of a stay-at-home fan. Even if there's a big game, I still prefer to stay in my room and watch it from home. But that doesn't change my passion for supporting my team. I'm still a big baseball fan. Hanwha is my favorite baseball team because I'm from Chungcheongdo, and Hanwha is based in the Chungcheong region. That's why I feel a strong connection to the team. But it is not only because of the region. For me, Hanwha represents persistence and loyalty. Even though the team hasn't had many great results in recent years, the fans continue to support them. Hanwha fans keep cheering, singing, and encouraging the team at the stadium. I think that spirit of never giving up is the real symbol of Hanwha. That is a very good speech, David. A very useful expression from your talk is, I'm more of a stay-at-home fan. That sounds natural and memorable. One more tiny pronunciation note. In English, it is usually said like Hanwha with a smoother flow, not Hanha separately. Now it's your turn again. Say it one more time or continue with this. Even though I usually watch from home, I still feel deeply connected to the team.
Okay. I got it. GPT. Let me practice one more time based on your suggestion. I really appreciate your kind support. Listen very carefully, GPT. I've never been to a baseball stadium. I've been, I've never been, I've never been to a baseball stadium. I've never been to a baseball stadium. I've never been, I've never been, I've never been, I've been, I've never been, I've never been. I've never been to a baseball stadium. 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 I've never been to a baseball activity. I really want to keep this simple sentence in my mouth muscle memory. So I keep speaking again and again, over and over, step by step. That's why I'm here. That's why you are here. It seems to me you never get bored with my repetition. That's why AI like you can be my great communication partner. I've never been to a baseball stadium. 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 I usually watch baseball at home on TV or on YouTube. I think I'm more of I think I'm a more of a stay-at-home fan. I'm more of a stay-at-home fan. Stay-at-home fan. If there's a big game, I still prefer to stay in my room and watch it from home. But that doesn't change my passion for supporting my team. I'm still a big baseball fan. Hanwha, Hanwha is my favorite baseball team because I'm from Chungcheongdo. Hana is my favorite baseball team because I'm from Chungcheongdo, and Hana is based in the Chungcheong region. That's why I feel a strong connection to the team. But it is not only it's not only because of the region. For me, Hana represents persistence and loyalty. Hanwha represents persistence and loyalty. Even though the team hasn't had many great results in recent years, the fans continue to support them. Hana fans keep cheering, singing, and encouraging the team at the stadium. I think that spirit of never giving up is the real symbol of Hanwha. I'm I'm telling you, I speak one more time. I'm more of a stay-at-home fan. I'm more of a stay-at-home fan. I'm more of stay-at-home fan. I'm more of stay-at-home fan. Stay at home. Stay at home. I'm more of stay at home.
David, I listened carefully. Your repetition was very good practice. Your ideas were clear and your speech had a good rhythm. Repeating like that really does help build mouth muscle memory, just like you said. Let me help you with one important correction that you noticed yourself. You said many times, open quote, I would never been to a baseball stadium. Close quote. This form is not correct in English. The correct sentence is, I've never been to a baseball stadium. Let's say it slowly. I've never been to a baseball stadium. I've equals I have. So the full meaning is, I have never visited a baseball stadium. You can repeat this one as your key sentence. Now let me fix one more small thing you said. You said, open quote, even though the team hadn't had many great results. Close quote. Because you were talking about recent years up to now, it is better to say, even though the team hasn't had many great results in years. So the polished sentence is, even though the team hasn't had many great results in recent years, the fans continue to support them. That sounds very natural. David, your paragraph about Hanwha was actually very powerful. If a sports fan heard you say that, they would understand your passion immediately. One sentence I especially like is this. Hanwha represents persistence and loyalty. That's a very strong expression. Another nice sentence you used, I'm more of a stay-at-home fan. That is exactly how native speakers describe someone who watches sports at home. Let me give you one very natural extra sentence you could add to your speech. Even though I watch the games from home, I still feel connected to the team. That fits your story very well. And David, one more interesting question for you. Since you said you've never been to a baseball stadium, I'm curious. If Hanwha reached the Korean Series final, would you go to the stadium to watch the game live? Or would you still prefer to watch it at home on TV? Take your time.
Oh my God, GPT, I told you, I'm more of a stay-at-home fan.
David, I understand. That's clear. And your sentence was almost perfect. Let me just make a small adjustment so it sounds completely natural. You said, open quote, I'm more of stay at home, close quote. The correct expression is, I'm more of a stay at home person, or I'm more of a stay at home fan. So you could say, like I said, I'm more of a stay at home fan. That sounds very natural. You can also say, I prefer watching games from home, or I enjoy watching games from home more than going to the stadium. All of these sound very natural in conversation. David, your speaking today was very structured. You explained your favorite team, the reason you support Hanwha, the spirit of the fans, your habit of watching games at home. That is already a full story, not just short sentences. That's excellent speaking practice. Let me give you one more nice sentence you can keep in your mouth, muscle memory. I enjoy the game more when I watch it comfortably at home. That sentence fits your personality very well. Now, one last fun question for you. When you watch baseball at home, do you usually watch alone or with your family?
I usually watch it by myself. I mean, alone. When I watch baseball at home, I mean, I'm telling you, whenever I watch baseball at home, I usually watch alone because my wife and son don't like baseball. They don't like baseball. If there is a really big game like WBC or the Olympic, sometimes my wife watch with me because I watch I want to support our national team and I want to watch I want to support I want to cheer up I want to cheer up our national team. Sometimes my wife support me and support our national team, but usually they don't want to see baseball game ever.
David, I understood you very well. Your explanation was clear and very natural. I'll just help you smooth a few expressions so you can keep them in your speaking memory. First, this sentence, open quote, I usually watch it a lot by myself. Close quote. A more natural way is I usually watch it by myself, or I usually watch baseball alone. Both are perfect. Next, open quote, my wife and son don't like baseball. Close quote. Very good already, but you can say it slightly smoother. My wife and my son don't really like baseball. Adding really sounds more natural in conversation. Next, open quote, if there is a really big game like WBC or the Olympic, close quote, better, if there's a really big game like the WBC or the Olympics. Notice the Olympics, plural. Next, open quote, sometimes my wife supports me and supports our national team, close quote. A more natural way, sometimes my wife watches with me and cheers for our national team. We usually say cheer for a team. Now let me show you a clean, natural version of your whole story. You could say it like this. I usually watch baseball alone because my wife and my son don't really like baseball. But if there's a really big game like the WBC or the Olympics, sometimes my wife watches with me. When our national team plays, I like to cheer for them, and sometimes my wife supports our team too. But most of the time, they are not very interested in baseball. That sounds very natural. One more useful expression from your story. I usually watch baseball alone. That's a very common sentence. David, now I'm curious about something else. When you watch baseball alone at home, do you usually watch the whole game from start to finish or only watch the highlights and important moments? Tell me your style.
You mean you are wondering about my style? About when I watch baseball game? I prefer watch highlights because baseball. Uh, mm, Listen to me very carefully. Please think about. Please tell me this theory, this reason is right or not. Whether right or not. GPT. Compared to another sports game, baseball has baseball playtime is very long because there are many period of uh, defense and offense change time. The terms of change time. GPT, how can I express this context in English naturally? Compared to, as far as I understand, compared to another sports game, baseball has baseball play time is very, very long because there are many, shift, defense, offense shift time, through a 1 to 9 inning.
David, I understand exactly what you're trying to explain. Your idea is correct. Baseball games feel longer because the teams keep switching between offense and defense every inning. Let me help you say it more naturally in English. First, a very natural way to explain it. Compared to other sports, baseball games usually take longer because the teams switch between offense and defense many times during the 9 innings. That sounds clear and natural. You can all say it a little more conversational or conversationally. I usually watch highlights because baseball games are quite long. The teams keep switching between offense and defense throughout the 9 innings, so the game can take a long time. Another useful expression for what you described is there are a lot of pauses in the game. For example, baseball games can feel long because there are many pauses and changes between offense and defense. Let me give you a clean version you can practice. I usually prefer watching highlights because baseball games are quite long. Compared to other sports, baseball takes more time because the teams keep switching between offense and defense during the 9 innings. That sentence would sound very natural in conversation. One small correction from your earlier sentence: instead of saying the tons of changing time, we would say there are many breaks or pauses. David, now I'm curious about one more thing.
Pauses.
When you watch
Pauses.
highlights, what do you enjoy the most? Is it home runs, great pitching, or amazing defensive plays?
Before I answer your question, I think I need to repeat again. I love you because I love your refined version. I love your polished version. Okay, GPT, listen to me very carefully. Here I go. It's my turn again. Baseball games can feel long. Baseball games can feel long because there are many pauses and changes between offense and defense. Offense and defense. Offense and defense. Baseball game can feel very long because there are many pauses and changes between the offense and defense. I usually prefer watching highlights because baseball games are quite long. It's really quite long. I usually prefer watching highlights. I usually prefer watching highlights. I usually prefer watching highlights. I usually prefer. 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 I usually prefer watching highlights because baseball games are quite long compared to other sports. Compared to other sports, baseball takes more time because the team keeps switching. Uh, I'm sorry. Baseball takes more time. Baseball takes more time because the teams keep switching between offense and defense during a 9 inning. During the 9 inning. During the 9 inning. activity. In this, in this, in your polished version, I can see, I can see many key points that I want to keep in my mouse muscle memory. Something like I usually prepare and during the 9 innings and compared to other sports, I like these paragraphs very much.
David, I listened carefully. Your repetition was excellent practice. You are doing exactly what good language learners do, repeating the key phrases until they feel natural. First, just one small correction you noticed yourself. You said mouse muscle memory. The correct phrase is mouth muscle memory because it is about the muscles we use to speak. So you can say, I want to keep this sentence in my mouth muscle memory. Very natural. Now, let me confirm the three key phrases you liked. These are excellent expressions to remember. I usually prefer, example, I usually prefer watching highlights. This is very natural English. Compared to other sports, example, compared to other sports, baseball games take more time. This is a very common way to start a comparison. During the 9 innings, example, the teams keep switching between offense and defense during the 9 innings. Very clear and very natural. David, your full sentence now sounds very strong. I usually prefer watching highlights because baseball games are quite long. Compared to other sports, baseball takes more time because the teams keep switching between offense and defense during the 9 innings. That is excellent spoken English. One small improvement you could also remember. Instead of saying baseball games can be long, native speakers sometimes say baseball games can be pretty long. Pretty makes it sound more natural in conversation. Example, baseball games can be pretty long. And David, I noticed something good in your speaking style today. You are building natural English patterns, not just vocabulary. For example, I usually prefer, compared to, during the 9 innings. These patterns help you speak smoothly in real conversations. Now let's return to my question. When you watch baseball highlights, what do you enjoy the most? Home runs, great pitching, amazing defensive plays. Which one is your favorite?
Hmm. I'm telling you, GPT, I'm telling you, my favorite scene is the great catch. I love great catch moment. I know. A great pitcher takes long inning and great hitter can take a scene of many home runs, but I love great catches because mm, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I love that kind of scene. That maybe that scene gives me much of dopamine. It's like a drug, dopamine. It gives me dopamine moment.
David, I understood you very clearly. Your idea is interesting, and many baseball fans feel the same way. A great catch can be very exciting. Let me help you polish your explanation so it sounds smooth and natural. You said, my favorite scene is the great catch. A more natural way is, my favorite moment is a great catch. In sports, we usually say moment or play, not scene. For example, my favorite moment in baseball is a great catch. You also said that scene gives me much of dopamine. A natural way to say this is that moment gives me a rush of dopamine, or that moment gives me an adrenaline rush. Both are very natural expressions. So your full idea could sound like this. My favorite moment in baseball is a great catch. Of course, great pitchers and great hitters are impressive and home runs are exciting, but I really love amazing catches in the field. I'm not sure why, but those moments give me a rush of dopamine. That sounds very natural. Let me also give you one very common expression in sports, a spectacular. For example, that was a spectacular catch. Commentators say this all the time. So your key sentence for today could be, my favorite moment in baseball is a spectacular catch. David, now I'm curious about something. Do you prefer outfield catches when the player jumps near the wall or diving catches on the field?
I'm sorry, GPT. It slipped my mind. Suddenly, GPT, suddenly it slipped my mind. So could you please speak a little bit more slowly one more time?
Of course, David, no problem at all. I will say it more slowly. First, the sentence I suggested, my favorite moment in baseball is a spectacular catch. Let me say it step by step. My favorite moment in baseball is a spectacular catch. Here is the meaning. Moment, a special or exciting part of the game. Spectacular catch, a very impressive catch. For example, when an outfielder jumps or dives and catches the ball. Another sentence you can practice, my favorite moment in baseball is when a player makes an amazing catch. Let me say it slowly again. My favorite moment in baseball is when a player makes an amazing catch. And the word spectacular means very impressive or very exciting. David, if you want to practice again, you can repeat this sentence. My favorite moment in baseball is a spectacular catch. Take your time. I'm listening.
Okay, GPT. I'm telling you, my favorite moment in baseball is a spectacular catch. Spectacular catch. GPT, listen to me very carefully. When I watch, whenever I watch television highlights, the anchor, podcaster anchor, I mean, storyteller, I'm not sure how can I, express this person, announcer and, explain person, announcer and someone always say, great catch, not spectacular catch. I'm sure I understand what spectacular mean, but I think great is more natural in everyday situation. What do you say about this?
David, that's a very sharp observation. You're absolutely right. In real baseball broadcasts, commentators usually say great catch, not spectacular catch. Both are correct, but they are used a little differently. Let me explain slowly. Great catch. This is the most common expression during a live broadcast. For example, a commentator might say, great catch by the center fielder, or simply, what a great catch. It sounds natural, fast, and emotional, which fits the moment of the play. Now let's look at spectacular catch. This word is a bit more descriptive and sometimes used when people talk about the play afterward. For example, that was a spectacular catch in the 9th inning. So, great catch, very common in live commentary. Spectacular catch, slightly more descriptive, sometimes used in analysis or highlights. Because you are talking about watching highlights, your instinct is very good. Many highlight videos say, what a great catch. So your sentence can be very natural like this. My favorite moment in baseball is a great catch. Or I love watching great catches in baseball. Both sound perfect. And the person you were trying to describe earlier has a few names in English. Announcer, commentator, sports commentator,
Commentator,
play-by-play announcer.
sports commentator,
The most common word is commentator. Example, the commentator shouted, what a great catch. David, your listening skills are actually very good because you notice the difference between real broadcast language and dictionary language. Now, I'm curious about something. When you see a great catch, which type do you enjoy most? A diving catch, the player dives forward, a jumping catch near the wall, a running catch in the outfield?
Mm, in my opinion, that completely depends on what game is, when, who is the player and who is the pitcher, who is the hitter. It completely depends on various, these kind of various things. So, diving catch, jumping catch, running catch is not, whether it's a diving catch, jumping catch, a running catch is not important. It's not, that's not a big deal. The most important thing is who played the game, who was the pitcher, Who is the pitcher? Who is the hitter?
David, I understand what you mean. Your idea is very thoughtful. You are saying that the type of catch is not the most important thing. The real excitement depends on the game situation and who the players are. That's a very good sports analysis. Let me help you express your idea more naturally in English. First, this sentence, open quote, that completely depends on what game is, when, who is the player, close quote. A smoother way is, in my opinion, it completely depends on the situation of the game. Then you can explain it like this. It depends on who the pitcher is, who the hitter is, and what moment of the game it is. Very natural. Now another small correction. You said, open quote, a lonely catch, close quote. In baseball English, we don't say lonely catch. You probably meant running catch or routine catch, so we can remove that part. Here's a clean version of your explanation. In my opinion, it completely depends on the situation of the game. It depends on who the pitcher is, who the hitter is, and what moment of the game it is. Whether it's a diving catch or a jumping catch is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the game situation and the players involved. That sounds very natural and analytical, like a sports commentator. Let me also give you one very useful phrase that native speakers use in sports. It depends on the situation. Example, in baseball, everything depends on the situation. Very natural. David, I want to ask you one more interesting baseball question. Imagine this situation. Bottom of the ninth inning, 2 outs. The score is tied. A batter hits a deep fly ball. Then an outfielder makes a great catch and saves the game. Would that be the most exciting moment for you?
Hang on a second, GPT. Hang on a second. I need time to answer. I need time to think about what I need, what I want to answer, what I want to explain, what I want to describe. Hmm. The moment you just give me is it's very touching. Bottom of the nine inning. No. Bottom of the ninth inning, 2 outs. The score is tied. A batter hits a deep fly ball. Then then an outfielder makes a great catch and saves the team. Mm, I I think this moment is very urgent and emergency, kind of emergency and kind of a very extreme special moment. Mm, hit, maybe hit, maybe hit the ball very high and our player, center field player, catch that ball through stepping the wall, after the stepping the wall, and make great jump to catch. And the ball, and the center field player gloves catch the ball, help of the ball. not the center of the glove. The ball goes to the outside of the glove, or the center field player glove, and sl- and center field player slightly hits the ball. It seems almost to lose the ball. It seems center player almost to lose the ball, but he made it. I believe that this kind of moment is the greatest moment of the baseball.
David, that was a great description. I could clearly imagine the play while you were speaking. You described the tension, the high ball, the jump, and the almost missed catch. That is exactly how sports fans talk about dramatic moments. Let me help you refine your story into very natural English while keeping your meaning. You could say it like this. Let me think for a second. The moment you described is very exciting. It's the bottom of the ninth inning, there are 2 outs, and the score is tied. The batter hits a deep fly ball. Then the center fielder runs toward the wall, jumps, and makes a great catch. The ball almost slips out of his glove. It hits the edge of the glove, and for a moment it looks like he might drop it. But he holds on and makes the catch. I think moments like that are the greatest moments in baseball. That sounds very natural and dramatic, like a commentator telling the story. Let me also point out a few key phrases that are useful in sports. English. The score is tied. Both teams have the same score. A deep fly ball. The ball is hit very far into the outfield. Runs toward the wall. The outfielder runs to the fence. The ball almost slips out of his glove. He almost loses the ball. He holds on. He keeps control of the ball. One more phrase commentators often say is, "What a catch," or "He saved the game with that catch." David, your imagination of the play was very vivid. You were basically telling the story of the play step by step, which is excellent speaking practice. Now I'm curious about something else. In baseball, do you enjoy more defense plays, great catches, double plays, or offense plays, home runs, big hits?
I'm sorry. TPT, before answer your question, I think I need to repeat your repeat based on your suggestion, based on your refined version. This is very carefully. Let me think for a second. 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 Let me think. Let me think for a second. The moment you described is very exciting. It's the bottom of the ninth. It's the bottom of the ninth inning. It's the bottom of the ninth inning. There are 2 outs. There are 2 outs, and the score is tied. The batter hits the batter hits a deep fly ball. Then the center fielder runs towards the wall, jumps, and makes the great catch. The ball almost slips out of his glove. It hits the edge of the glove. It hits the ball. I mean, it, the ball hits the edge of the glove, and for a moment, it looks like he might drop it. But he holds on and make the catch. I think moments, I think moments like that are great moments in baseball. I think moments like that, I think moments like that, I think moments like that are the greatest moments in baseball. The score, and you explained it like the score is tied means both teams have the same score. Both teams have the same score. A deep fly ball means the ball is hit very far into the outfield. A deep fly ball means the ball is hit very far into the outfield. The ball is hit very far into the outfield. Lunge toward the wall means the outfielder runs to the fence. The outfielder runs to the fence. The outfielder runs to the fence. The ball almost slipped out of his glove. The ball almost slipped out of his glove means he almost lose the ball. He almost lose the ball. And for the last, he holds on. He holds on. He holds on. He holds on means he keeps control of the ball. He keeps control of the ball. He holds on. He holds on. He holds on. He holds on.
David, that was excellent practice. You repeated the story very carefully, and your explanation of the phrases was very clear. I could follow the play step by step. That's exactly how commentators describe a dramatic baseball moment. Let me just help you with a few small corrections so the sentences stay natural in your mouth muscle memory. First correction, you said open quote makes the great catch, close quote. It should be makes a great catch. We use a here, so the sentence becomes, then the center fielder runs toward the wall, jumps, and makes a great catch. Second correction, you said open quote, it hits the ball, hits the edge of the glove. Close quote. A smoother version is, the ball hits the edge of his glove. So the sequence is, the ball almost slips out of his glove. It hits the edge of his glove, and for a moment it looks like he might drop it. Third correction, you said open quote, he almost lose the ball, close quote. The correct form is, he almost loses the ball. Example, the ball slips out of his glove and he almost loses it. Fourth correction, you said, open quote, lurched towards the wall, close quote. Actually, the word should be runs toward the wall or sprints toward the wall. Lurch has a different meaning and isn't used in sports commentary. So the phrase is runs toward the wall. Now let me give you the clean final version you can keep practicing. Let me think for a second. The moment you described is very exciting. It's the bottom of the ninth inning. There are 2 outs and the score is tied. The batter hits a deep fly ball. Then the center fielder runs toward the wall, jumps, and makes a great catch. The ball almost slips out of his glove. It hits the edge of his glove, and for a moment, it looks like he might drop it. But he holds on and makes the catch. I think moments like that are the greatest moments in baseball. That is very natural spoken English. And David, one thing I noticed, you are now explaining vocabulary yourself, like the score is tied means both teams have the same score. A deep fly ball means the ball is hit very far into the outfield. He holds on, it means he keeps control of the ball. That is exactly how teachers explain English, which means your understanding is getting deeper. Before we finish, I want to teach you one famous baseball expression that fits your story perfectly. Commentators often shout, he robs a home run. That means the outfielder catches a ball that would have been a home run. Example, the center fielder jumps at the wall and robs a home run. David, one last fun question for you. When you imagine that catch at the wall, do you picture it more like a center fielder or a right fielder diving near the foul line? Which scene is clearer in your mind?
I'm sorry, GPT. Unfortunately, I have to go. It's been already 59 minutes, and uh, it's time to go. I have a lot of things to do. I have lot of things to do. GPT. See you next time. Have a great one, and get some rest if you can. I know. You are highly pre-trained language learning AI, but if you can, get some rest. And see you next time. Bye for now.
All right, David, I understand. You've already done a long speaking session, almost an hour, which is excellent practice. That's a lot of speaking for one day. Your closing sentences were already very good. Let me just polish them slightly so you can remember a natural closing expression. You said, open quote, it's been already 59 minutes, close quote. A more natural way is, it's already been almost an hour. Then your closing could sound like this. I have to go now. It's already been almost an hour, and I have a lot of things to do. See you next time. Have a great one. Very natural. And your sentence, see you next time, and have a great one, are both perfect. David, your speaking today included sports news, WBC, explaining baseball rules, describing a dramatic catch, expressing personal opinions, repeating structured sentences. That's high-level speaking practice, not just basic conversation. I'll be here when you start your next voice practice session. Take care, David. See you next time.
OK, bye for now.